Take your time, but hurry up. Whoa, what a arrogant group. Last guy finally backed far enough out of the way, and as I approached, I waved. As I got abreast of him, kind of raised his hand a little bit, but what is going on? Is the whole world crazy? This whole country is crazy. We've got well, here comes a rant, I guess. I don't guess, I know. I'm back at the point of not wanting to even turn the radio on anymore, at all, ever. All I hear are horrifying circumstances and people behaving badly. There's a morning show on National Public Radio called 1A, and this morning's topic was banned books and the growing banning of books and books and books and books. And they interviewed or talking with a librarian from a small town in Idaho who had moved there a year ago or so. And the hostility, the hatred from the townsfolk toward her for being a librarian. And she said, I always thought when you move to a small town, it's going to be a welcoming, warm community. And these people, almost to a person, were antagonistically hostile to her. And she said, everybody quotes scripture to you to prove how wrong you are about everything that you believe in. Not just the books, but your whole life. It sounded like she wasn't going to last there long. She said, I don't think I'm going to be able to stay here. I don't get that kind of vibe where I live. But just hearing about the state of people's views, beliefs that are so foreign to me. This is such a much different climate we live in than I remember always it being in my life, wherever I lived. And it's a real scary, disappointing. And these people in the Idaho town, they all feed on each other and confirm each other. They don't have any fresh ideas and thinking, and when they do get fresh ideas and thinking, oh no, we can't have that here. We believe how we believe because that's the right way to believe. Everybody ought to believe the way we believe. Well, okay, I guess that wasn't such a bad rant, but it's a very frightening world we live in. And this morning it was announced that the gas pipeline between Russia and Denmark, it doesn't matter, was bombed. It runs under the sea, and a huge bubbling up of methane, they said, that is so much more powerfully damaging to the atmosphere. And the conjecture was that a Russian submarine might have torpedoed it. Why? And it's continuing to leak. And how are they going to fix it? How are they going to stop it? It's just releasing, releasing, releasing. And I read this morning that Germany is being forced into burning coal, dirty coal, to generate electricity, since their gas has been shut off from Russia. I heard about research in the last 5 or 10 years. I'll say 5 years. I think that was the research was into how it was discovered that forests, trees, talk to each other, communicate through underground synapses. They generate communication lines. These are microscopic, by the way. And they come to the aid of each other when one tree is in distress for whatever reason. They build resources and share resources. A very compelling, fascinating discovery. And I came across it again yesterday. The scientist, Suzanne Simard, I'll make sure that name, because I want to post a link to a YouTube. And I looked it up on YouTube. Yeah, there it is. She's got a few videos in her research.
Today, I want to change the way you think about forests. You see, underground there is this other world, a world of infinite biological pathways that connect trees and allow them to communicate, and allow the forest to behave as though it's a single organism. It might remind you of a sort of intelligence. How do I know this? Here's my story.
She was not shrill about her warnings, but she was very firm in, if we are going to get climate change under control, trees are being reduced and harvested at an astoundingly rapid rate. 1,000 times faster we are losing our trees than. There's really very little that we can do, because forests, the kind of old growth forests that would mitigate climate change, cannot be grown fast enough. You know, how long does it take a tree to get to 20 feet tall? Depends on the tree, of course, but clear cutting itself is a major detriment to forests in general, because they don't have the old growth mother trees that support new saplings. I'm saying this very poorly. I'm going to post a link to her work. We have lost half of the world's trees since, I don't know, it's hunting season. Half of the world's air producers and carbon sinks are gone, and we can't grow back more. And the lumber industry is a generation ago, 2 generations ago, if you were going to go log your 40 acres, you would hire a guy with a horse, and you would saw down a tree here and there, and the forest would not be harmed at all. It would continue on. It was sustainable. Now they've got timber harvesters going in and decimating wide, hugely open swaths of land that they will go back in and plant saplings, but that's a monocrop. It's one species of tree. And a healthy forest needs a variety of different species that can work together and talk to each other and exchange. The forest industry doesn't care. They just want to harvest this cash crop of the forest. Okay, yeah, we're going to replant. Like that's going to save the day. It's not. This earth is doomed. It is. When humanity is wiped out, along with most of the species of other animals, it will take 1,000,000 years or more to regenerate. And then mankind will rise up out of the ocean, grow little legs as fish, and crawl onto the land. And they're talking about the approach of Hurricane Ian, and that how hot the Gulf of Mexico water is 3 to 6 degrees warmer than it used to be, and that is fueling hugely destructive hurricanes and storm surges. I guess it's come ashore now. Going to be interesting to see what Ian is doing. Well, I'm going to get out of here. There's too much traffic. I had forgotten that it's hunting season, and there are more people around out here now than I want. Day 2. Back out here on ski and hiking trail we visited yesterday. I've got it all sorted out now, except for a dog who's lagging, a laggard. And we're taking the 1.1 trail. She sure loves it out here. It's 58 degrees today, right now anyway. Look at the red pines. I watched a documentary on YouTube last night. It knows my habits now, and it suggested this thing. Rehabbing an old growth forest that's been under attack from logging companies for years. He and a guy with means purchased a fairly large, low mountainous property. I hate to say property because that means it's not very big. It's quite a large area, hectares. And he is the administrator, and he lives out there. And they're leaving it well enough alone, mostly, letting nature do what it does better than any mankind can. Over there, the farmers have been having a perennial problem with gorse, G-O-R-S-E. It's a growth that takes over fields and open areas. Farmers have been fighting it, poisoning it, burning it, everything they can to get rid of it on their farmland. Well, gorse is on the large property that these men are charged with protecting. A lot of it is old growth. A lot of it has been taken over by gorse because it's open land. Gorse does not survive in shade. And the farmers were up in arms at first because these caretakers of the large property were just not doing anything to get rid of the gorse. And over the years that they've had the tract, they have been proving over and over again that gorse will not survive in a forest. It can't. It needs sunlight. And one of the remarks this gentleman made was, why should we fight it? Well, that's man's legacy. Fighting to overcome the adversity of the natural world. And I love that comment because, yes, that is the best thing to do, to let nature take care of itself. We don't have to go in and fight it. Leave it alone. It knows better than we do. This looks like a GPS. I don't remember what it's called anymore. I used to do this. You have a GPS unit, and there are GPS hidden treasures all over the U.S. And people go out and hide things like that. Well, in this case, it's not hidden, but you use your GPS unit as a treasure hunting device. You get the coordinates and you follow the coordinates to it. GPS is saying, go this way, go that way. It's a lot of fun. And I was doing this back in the early to mid 2000s. And that was before the government had relaxed and made much more accurate the locations for GPS. They had a fault installed with GPS for consumer grade GPS units. You couldn't get very good accuracy, and the government relaxed that, so now your GPS units are pinpoint sharp, accurate. There's one example. I was going out with a friend of mine. I had a handheld GPS, and we would get right to where it said it was, and then look at the GPS again. Well, no, now it's 100 yards off down there. Well, that was the error, that the GPS for consumer use was intentionally vague. That was to prevent us from doing nefarious things with our GPS, I guess. So we're going to turn right. I'm coming. This man who is charged with overseeing the acreage, it's his passion. It's absolutely his whole purpose for living. So centered and so honest. He doesn't have a car. He walks through the forest to his work site. 2 hours. Does his work for how long. Walks the 2 hours back home. Eats dinner. And about 7:30 in the evening sits down at his table and spends the rest of his day writing, doing paperwork, doing everything that needs doing. I'm going to post a link to the documentary in the comment section. It's well worth a look. If nothing, then the scenery, the photography. Very well done.
And this is a farmer who lived in the next valley on a gorse-infested farm which he had been trying to fight all his life. And he said, "I'm all for saving patches of bush, but the thought of starting from scratch on land that is clear enough to be used productively frankly appalls me. As for shutting up a whole valley, heaven help us from fools and dreamers." I love that. I regard that as a great compliment, because we need a few more fools and dreamers in the world, I think.
And it gives me hope. Not that forest is going to save the world, but one of the points he made toward the end is nobody can do world-saving scale work. All we can do is what we can do. Do a little bit of what you can do. You may not think it's worthwhile, but if we all do what we can do, that's how things get changed. The name of the documentary is Fools and Dreamers, and that's what the people that live in the area were calling these people. And now, largely, those people who were against what he was trying to do have changed their minds and are seeing the value of, yes, there are some places that should not be farmed. Well, what should we do? Where's the map? We are here. Oh yeah, this is a steep. You can see the... I don't feel like walking up that. The other side here is even steeper. That's very eye-opening, jaw-droppingly steep. I could walk to here. I think that's what we'll do. Let's go down to the amphitheater. I wonder what's happened with this facility other than the ski and hiking trails themselves. What has happened that these cabins are not being maintained? I haven't ever looked at this one. Not even locked. Windows are all intact. Oh man. Apparently the university that owns this property doesn't care. Huh. What a shame. Looks like that tree fell on it. I'm disgusted. No, not disgusted. Disappointed. I'd like to know the story behind why that is being let go. I used to cross-country ski 30, 40 years ago. But then things like my business, family, kids came along, and that was midlife. I don't have time to go skiing anymore. That all went away. Got a dog. And there aren't any groomed ski trails that approve of having a dog with you. They run wild and they destroy the tracks. And I'm not going to leave a dog home so I can go out alone and ski. Why have a dog and do things without it? All right, this is where I had a problem yesterday. And there's no map here. That goes somewhere. That goes to the parking lot, it says. That goes, oh, there is a map here. I'm at number 5. We want to take the trail that's on the right. That would be it. And why does that say parking lot this way? We're at 5. Parking lot this way would make us go all the way here. Why not take this that would take us to the parking lot sooner? My first golden retriever was back in 1980. We paid $50 for it. It was a full-blooded golden, just not with papers. It's fine. Easy was a full-blooded golden. Without papers. I paid $30 for her, I think, at the animal shelter. The dog that daughter got, the lady was selling him for $1,200, which apparently is quite low. But when I can get an unpapered mutt at the animal rescue shelter for $2.25, I'll take one of those. They're having a sale on them. They have too many, $100 each. Ooh. Like to be able to take advantage of that, but not until Suki is gone. Oh, that's a shame. More evidence that they're not caring anything about maintaining this. Last time I was out here, that was standing.